Hello widget watchers, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to discuss about networking in Flutter. Today we are going to dive deep into making API calls, working with REST APIs and displaying data within your app. By the end, you will be able to make HTTP requests and display the responses efficiently. So let's get started. So let's first discuss why networking is important in your mobile application. So networking is one of the core components of almost every modern app. App needs to fetch data from servers, APIs, or external services to provide users with the most up-to-date information. Flutter's networking capabilities make it easier to connect to APIs, fetch or send data, and manage real-time communication efficiently. Networking is essential for fetching dynamic content, something like weather data, news, and user profiles. Then communicating with APIs is crucial for making apps interactive and data rich. To interact with the server or an API, we use HTTP requests. Flutter offers several ways to handle HTTP, but one of the most common and easy to use package is HTTP. So let's break down the types of HTTP requests you can make. So in Flutter, we have 4 types of HTTP requests. First one is the GET request to fetch data from a server. Then we have POST request to send the data to a server. Then we have PUT request to update data on the server. And finally, we have delete request to delete data from the server. So let's understand all of this with a simple example. So open your project, then open the pubspec.yaml file, and here inside this dependencies section, add the HTTP dependency. Now tap on this pubget option to get all the dependency. Now come inside the main.dart file and let's start making a basic GET request to fetch data from a public API. For this demo, we will use the JSON placeholder API, which is perfect for testing API calls. So for that, come inside the my home page class and here create a dynamic list and name it as data and initialize it with empty array. So we use this list to store the data which we have received from the API. Then here add the init state method and then call this fetch data method. And don't worry, we will create this method in a minute. Now you may ask that why I have added this method inside the init state method. So here I want that when user opens the app, then there should be data shown on the first screen. So here I'm calling this method from the init state method. Now create the fetch data method and make sure to here add the future, because in this method we are going to call our API. Then here mark the async because we need to await until the response is not come. Now if you want more information about the async and await in Flutter, make sure to watch this video. Now come inside here and here create a final response variable. Then here add the await. Then here add HTTP. But you think that why this HTTP is giving us the error? Because here we need to import the HTTP. So come above here and here import the HTTP and import it as HTTP. Now come inside the fetch data method and here add the get method of this HTTP class. Then here we need to parse the string URL into the URI. So here add the URI.parse and then add the JSON placeholders posts API. Okay. Now here add a check that if response status code is 200, then we have successfully got the response. Otherwise, throw an exception. So here add a else condition and from here throw an exception that will say failed to load data. Now come inside the if statement and here add the set state and here assign the response body to data. Now you think why this error is coming? Because this is a JSON data and we need to convert so that Flutter's list can understand it. So here add the JSON.decode and then inside it add the response body. Now you can see the error has been removed. Now come inside them and here add this body, add the list view.builder, and now here we need to add the item count. So here add the item count as data.length. Then here add the item builder, and as we all know, list views item builder needs the context and index. So add that. Then from this item builder return a list style which will have a title as text widget, and here add the data and then the current index and then the title. So this will show the title of the post. Then for subtitle, here add the text, then data index, and then the body. So this will add the body of your post. Now here we use the HTTP GET to fetch data from the server, and JSON.decode is used to pass the JSON response into a Dart object. And then finally, for rendering the UI, we have list view builder that displays the data dynamically in the app's UI. Now if you save the code and run the application, then you can see after a second or two, our data is loaded and it is shown in the list view format. Now here you may think that while the data is coming, why there is not a loading sign. So you can also add the loading sign. So for adding that, here come to the body part, and here add a check that if data dot length is equals to 0, then add a center widget which will have a child as circular progress indicator. And if the data list length is not 0, in that case we are going to show the list view dot builder. Now stop the app and try to save the code and run the app again. Now if you see, until the data is not loaded, we are seeing a circular progress indicator. So this is how you can add the loading thing in your API call. Now let's move on the sending data to the server using a post request. Imagine you are building a blog app and you want users to submit new posts. Here's how we can send a post request to the server. So for creating a post request, come above here and here create a new method as submit data, and make sure to make this function as future. Then for creating a post, we need a title and the body of the post. So this method will going to take two parameters. First one is the string title and the second one is the string body. Then here add the async, then come inside this method and here create the response variable. Okay, now here add the await, because we need to await until the request is not sent successfully. Then here add the http.post method. Then as like get request, here we need to convert string URL into URI format. So here add the URI.parse and then add this URL to it. Now for body, because when we are creating a post request, we are sending something to the server, so it need to have a body. So here add the body property, and we need to send this data into the JSON format. Okay, so here add the JSON.encode, and then inside it add a map which will have a title key and the value of title which we are going to pass in this side function, and then do the same for the body. Now for headers, here add the content type as application JSON. Now here add a check that if status code is equal to 200, then print that post created successfully, else throw the exception that failed to create post. So basically here this HTTP post send the data to the server, and we use the JSON.encode function to convert our data into JSON format, and the header specify that the data is being sent as JSON. Okay, now come inside the body part and from here remove this list view and this condition, and then here add a column widget. Okay, then sets its main axis alignment to center. Then wrap this column widget inside a center widget, and then wrap your center widget inside a padding widget, and this will have going to padding of 10 from the all the side. Now come inside the column widget and here add the children property, and inside children here first add the text field which we will use to adding the title. Okay, then for managing the text we need the controller. So come above here and here create the text editing controller as title controller, and then do the same for the body part. So here create a one more text editing controller as the body controller. Now come inside this text field and here add the title controller. Okay, then for input decoration here add the hint text as enter title, and then set the border as outline input border. Okay, now copy this text field and add it one more time, and then add the sized box of height 20 between these two text field. Now come inside this second text field and here add the second controller to manage the text. Okay, now change the hint text to enter the body of title or add anything which you want. Then again add a sized box of height 15, and then here create an elevated button, and for its child here add a text as create post, and then for onPressed method call this submit data method and pass the title and body. So for doing that, here add your controller, then text, and do the same for the body. Now if you save the code and run the application, and now here add the title as this is post 1, and for subtitle or body, here add the this is the dummy body. Now let's press on this button to check everything is working fine or not. So here when I tap onto this button, after a second you can see in the console we are seeing that post created successfully. So we have successfully added the post request inside our Flutter application. Now that we have made both get and post requests, let's take a step back and understand what is REST API. So REST stands for Representational State Transfer, and it is an architectural style that allows different systems to communicate over HTTP. So there are few key concepts of REST API. First one is the resources, that data that can be accessed via URLs, example like users or post. Then we have HTTP methods. So these methods used to perform actions on resources, and resources means data. Then we have stateless. So each request from the client to the server must contain all the information needed to understand and process the request. REST APIs are commonly used for CRUD operation, which means create, read, update, delete, which I have told you about 7 minutes ago. Now let's see how we can handle errors and network state. So when dealing with networking in Flutter, handling errors and different network states is crucial. Let's talk about how to handle cases like no internet, server errors or timeouts. So there are few common error scenarios. No internet connection. So for its solution, we need to check for internet availability before making API request. Then we have server errors or status code as 500. So we need to gracefully handle server errors by showing user-friendly messages. Then we have timeout issue. So we need to set a timeout duration for our API request to avoid waiting indefinitely. So for that, come inside this get request method, and here first add a try block and move all of this code inside the try block. Okay. Now let's first handle the timeout exception. So for that, here add that on timeout exception, we are going to print that request timeout. Then here add the catch block, which will be used for catching the errors if above code have any issue. So here add that print and error occurred. Okay. Now for hitting the timeout exception, we need to add the timeout inside our request. So for that, come here and here after this get request, here add the timeout and sets the duration as 5 seconds. So if we didn't get the response in 5 seconds, it will hit the timeout exception issue. So that's how we can handle the issues. Now, once you have fetched data, you want to display it in your app. Flutter provides several widgets to display data in a structured way, such as list view and grid view. So we have already seen the example of list view. Now let's see how we can display the data using the grid view. So for that, remove all of this from here and here add the grid view.builder, and then set the grid delegate to sliver grid delegate with fixed cross axis count. So this will set the column count. So here add the cross axis count to 2. So here we are going to see the 2 column. Then for item count, as like list view, here add the data dot length. Then for item builder, here add the context and index, and from here return a card widget, and inside the card widget add the column widget. And for children, first add the text widget which will contain the title, then again add a text widget, but this time it will going to contain the body. Now if you save the code and run the application, then you can see we are seeing our response in the grid format. So this is how you can display the data inside the list view or the grid view. So that's the wrap up for our this session on networking in Flutter. We have covered the basics of HTTP requests, worked with REST APIs, and explore how to display the fetched data. So let's quickly go over a few best practices. So always remember to handle errors and network states gracefully. Use caching mechanism when dealing with large data, and consider pagination when working with APIs that return large data set. And if you don't know much about the pagination, then I'll suggest this video. Go and check out this video. So that's a wrap up for today's video. Now that you understand networking in Flutter, I encourage you to try making your own API calls and integrating them into your projects. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Flutter content, and I'll see you in the next one.